G'day. I've been thinking, you know, do I think that the average New Zealander is awake enough to go and to recognise what's going on in his country and then to go and actually do something about it? Well, sort of don't really. I think that New Zealanders, generally speaking, they sort of got their heads up their asses and they kind of think that politics can be settled every 3 years by going and voting, usually against someone rather than for them. Um, and there's not much on offer really when you think about it. And I get that there's some people are reacting to all this by going and starting Mickey Mouse political parties. Do I think that any of the Mickey Mouse political parties are going to get into power? Of course they're not. It's a dumb idea. It's just a dumb idea. Sorry, fellas. And what needed to happen was people needed to get behind and infiltrate and get into the guts of the other party. So in the whole political equation, in New Zealand or in America or in Australia or in England, there's a simple dynamic, and that is left and right. So what do? You get parties on the right, and a few Mickey Mouse parties that mean nothing, do nothing. All they do is hold the big one back. Whereas what they should be doing is changing it. Same on the left. On the left are winning at the moment, so their Mickey Mouse little parties aren't functioning. So can't you see what's going on? And when they're winning the political parties, if the left are winning, then the Mickey Mouse parties on the left don't have a prayer. Because people go and vote for why do they vote for Mickey Mouse parties on either side, left or right? They vote for them because they feel as though, they support them because they feel as though the main party's letting them down. And in the case of New Zealand, National are letting us down. And even though Labour Green have declared the fact that they're communists. When you get people like Chris Trotter, who's a left-wing commentator, come out and say that they're totalitarian, it's pretty obvious that they are. It's very clear to most people. Anybody with a political half a brain knows that Jacinda Ardern and co are communists. We just know. And so that's what you voted. So what are you going to do? You're going to vote against her. So instead of voting for Chris Luxon, for example, you'll vote for him because it's a vote against Jacinda Ardern. But you're going to leave that another year, So here we are, November 2022, and Jacinda Ardern knows she's going to lose at the next election because, it doesn't take a fucking genius to see that. And so what's she going to do? She's going to pass all of the nasty, draconian, horrible, hate Kiwi laws that she possibly can to move us towards a communist fucking society. And then is Chris Luxon going to have the balls to push it back? Chris Luxon doesn't even have the balls to come out and push against what she's doing. Chris Luxon, what does he fucking stand for? He stands for nothing. The man hasn't got the fucking balls to get out of his own way. Come on, Chris. You think you're a fucking politician? Stand up like a politician and campaign against what... if you can't campaign for something, for Christ's sake, have the balls to get up and campaign against something. And you should be campaigning against three waters. Loud, loud, loud. All of you people in National need to be screaming your heads off about that and about the whole communisation of New Zealand. You should be doing it. What's wrong with you? You're asleep at the wheel. Why are you asleep at the wheel? Because you know that you're going to win the next election. But in the meantime, what about the damage that's going to be done to New Zealand by this lunatic bloody communist government. Now, what are you doing? What's wrong with you? Stand up. For generations, New Zealand has been against racism, and these people are passing racist laws. And just because they're passing them against the majority in favour of the brown people, that doesn't mean it's not racist, because all the rest of us are fucking racist as well. You dumb shits haven't figured that out. And so, Christopher Luxton, as far as I'm concerned, you're useless at the moment. You need to have the courage, the integrity, and the bloody get up and go to stand up and fight against what these people are doing. You just need to push back. You need to push back against the call the communisation for what it is. Jesus, man, if a left-wing commentator like Chris Trotter can come out and call them totalitarian, you can too. You can too. What's wrong with you? They are obviously totalitarian. Everything they're doing is totalitarian. Everything they're doing is absolutely against the common values of New Zealanders. And you guys are sitting on the fucking fence. You need to pull finger. And then, as well as that, you also need to recognise that there's all these other Mickey Mouse right-wing parties around the place, and the reason why they are appearing is because you're not doing the job. You're not pulling finger. So what about NMP and what's the other thing? Outdoors Party and all these bloody pofter parties. They're going to go nowhere. I know some of these people. They're going to go fucking nowhere. Jesus, after the Tauranga election, the leader of one of those other parties, he pulled his hair out. He said, I spent $100,000 and got 249 votes. What is wrong with people that they don't see the stupidity in that? So what you need to do is recognise the reality and recognise that if you want to have power, if you want to change things, if you want to get rid of Labour, if you want to get rid of their horrible draconian laws, you need to get behind a real long established, great big political party with a whole lot of deadheads who are going to go along and vote for them anyway, no matter what they do. Those people on the right who think they're doing their job, I'm being responsible because what do I do every 3 years? I go along and vote national. It's obvious what they're doing. They don't know what they're voting for, except that they know that they're voting for national, and they know they're anti-Labour. So, out of all of that comes these people who suddenly think they can produce a political party that everybody's going to take notice of. They're not. They're not. Organise a group by all means to try and push. I mean, when NMP started, sorry, Mike, mate, got to tell the truth. When NMP started out of Mike's initiative to set up and get going, Silent Majority Team New Zealand. Had two great names, Silent Majority Team New Zealand. It was growing like Topsy. And so then everybody sort of gets, oh, look at us, we're doing really well, we've got 15,000 members. Let's start a new party. What a mistake. It was a mistake. Just own up to the fact that it was a bloody mistake. Because the idea of Silent Majority Team New Zealand was to push national. That's what we should have been doing. And if we'd have been doing that, we would have had a proper bloody opposition at the moment that could influence and slow down what these lunatics on the left are doing. You can't piss around with Mickey Mouse fucking parties in a political crisis, because that's what we've got. When you've got a party that's going to introduce, they just cut down all just because they can, because they got those green wackos as part of them. People who vote green are all nuts. They don't even realise it's a communist organisation, most of them, because, they go, they look after the plants. Fuck off. They're not looking after the plants. They're looking after communism, future communism and Marxism. You dumb shits. You don't know anything if you vote for Green. All you are is bloody... So, we need to step back from all this horse shit. And we need to look at National for what they are. They're not doing the job properly. Chris Luxon's not doing the job properly. Who the hell else is even in National? I know that the media have been taken over by the other side. That's totalitarian stuff. That's where you can stand up and say, look, any government that takes over the media is totalitarian. What is it you don't understand about that, you dumb shits? National, that's what you need to be complaining about. That's what you need to be campaigning on. Chris Luxon, you need to be stepping up, having the courage to say this government is the closest thing to all-out communism, and all very well saying communism with a small c. It's not. Jacinda Ardern, where is she right now as I do this on the bloody 15th of November? She's in Vietnam. Socialist, communist country. Vietnam. Vietnam is going to replace Australia as one of our allies, you dumb shits. Get up and... Why don't you fucking idiots listen to Mike Hosking from time to time? Go and ask him for some advice. Because, you're away with the fairies. You're just away with the fairies. I'm sick of it. So, Chris Luxon, you need to pull your finger out. It's too late to change leaders now, you dumbasses. You did that already. You expected a result, didn't get one. So get Chris Luxon in a room and tell him that he's got to start calling this a totalitarian government, and he's got to start calling Jacinda a fucking communist. Just, if you want to get some... Chris Luxon, if you want to get some bloody time on New Zealand television, call them communists and fucking Marxists. Because that's what they are, recognised by a large proportion of the population, including one of the most influential left-wing commentators we've ever had. What's his name? Chris Trotter. Get out of your own way, you bloody idiots. And as for all these small Mickey Mouse parties, the whole friggin' lot of you on the right, you think you're going to unite under, what's his name, that bloody preacher guy? Good God. This is stupid. It's the Americans joining up under bloody Jimmy Swaggart. What's wrong with you? Deluded. You're fucking deluded. Just because you got... any religious leader makes a lot of money because that's what they do. And that's... What's his name, that guy? He's a half-married person. You need to get out of his bed. And what you need to do is you need to get all your people together and go down to Chris Luxon and say, hey, Chris, we actually started in the beginning. We started at the beginning for the specific purpose of making National pull their finger out. So you're it, Chris. So get your fucking finger out. That's what I think. I'm sick of this fucking bullshit. And I'm angry because I watch it. I listen to it every day on the radio. I watch that idiot fucking TV every day. That I watch TV1 News every day. It is full-on propaganda from beginning to end. That's our news distribution service, you dumb shits. It's been taken over by the bloody communists. What is wrong with you? Do you not see the danger in it? And mind you, TV3 are the same. Those people need to be ostracised. And the place to start ostracising them is for the leaders of the right-wing party. The only guy that's doing any good at all is David Seymour. Why don't you just make David Seymour, if you guys join up and win the election, David Seymour should be the bloody leader. He should be the party leader because you clowns are not cutting it. That's what I think. And I've voted National all my life. And I've followed politics all my life. And Chris Luxon, you're a failure. And if you want to stop being a failure, you need to get up and you need to call this what it is. So fuck you, get out of your own way and start doing the job. We've had enough.